actually, if we go back a little bit, I'm actually an independent adjuster by trade. So I've done over 14,000 claims. Supplementing is one of the most profitable departments in a roofing company, right? You're not buying another lead. This is really just extra income or profit to get the job done correctly for the roofer. I saw what was missing on the estimates, so I was able to reach out to different contractors and they started using our services and we grew and grew. Like I said, we first started, we were doing maybe 50, 60 supplements a month and we could get through with the Excel spreadsheets and it worked. Once we started doing 100, 200 supplements a month, that's when they started falling through the cracks. So by running that company, the supplement company, that's how we found the pain points of supplementing and what can we do to alleviate it and what can we do to keep our contractors happy so we don't lose any more business. I wouldn't have tried to grow the business as fast to get as many contractors on board and really make sure we took care of the contractors that we had and followed through the quality of the supplement. To be transparent, the more claims you have, the less the quality. Of course, it's a volume, and we scaled too quick. I would have scaled a little slower, taking care of the contractors and the claims a little bit better at the very beginning. The other thing I would have done is really listen to my supplementers. So the supplementers kept telling me that the pain points, the being on hold, call the same desk adjuster 2-3 times in one day on different claims, or they actually wanted to do better, but they had no metrics for themselves to know. We didn't know how many days to close. I would have one of my contractors say, hey, this claim's, held out for 60 days. We had no way of tracking it at the time. We actually got fired by one of our large contractors because we actually let claims fall through the cracks. We were using the status quo, which was just Excel spreadsheets, and we're trying to track of who to call, when to call, and everything else. We like to call every 48 hours. We actually had a contractor reach out, and it's actually a good friend of mine, and he's like, I got to get rid of you because it's been 21 days since you followed up on these claims, because we were just using an Excel spreadsheet, and when we were doing 400 or 500 a month, it just fell through the cracks. That was the catalyst for building SuppTrax, so we wouldn't lose any more claims. A big thing why contractors also don't like the supplement is because they've tried it. So they've given these claims to somebody who used to be their office manager the day before. The poor office manager or office assistant, they don't know the terminology. They don't know anything about supplementing. They don't know materials. They don't know the process of that. And they expect them to try to argue with the desk adjuster of why it should be supplemented or paid for. And these poor people that work for them internally have no clue, so they can't explain it properly. The management really until now has had no access to the KPIs needed. They really don't know the average dollar amounts that they're producing on a daily basis. They don't know their days to close. They don't actually track on what claim to call the insurance company on that day. And there's no way to really access that information. Too often, when they reach out to that desk adjuster at the insurance company, they're on hold for 37 minutes. My wife runs a supplement company. And too often I heard her screaming from the other room because 2 hours later, she'd have the same claim with the same desk adjuster and have to be on hold all over again. Even worse than that is they would have to answer a phone call from the salesperson, sales manager, or the contractor calling in asking the status of that supplement. They would actually have to get themselves off of hold, answer the phone, look at their Excel spreadsheet, try to find the claim, answer that question, hang up from them, then have to go back to where they were, try to remember where they were, have to go back on hold with the insurance carrier and start that process all over again. I think the biggest problem that they face in supplementing is sitting down at the desk. They first have to try to figure out what claim do I need to call on, follow up on today, what the insurance company is. Then it's the mental anguish of, when you dial that number, you're going to be on hold. And people are human. After being on hold for 30 minutes, you go brain dead, you go mush. So then when you finally get them on the phone, it's like you're struggling to try to get through what you need to get through with them because you've been on hold for so long. Supplements, again, are going to play a more and more important role. When the deductibles goes higher, we need to make sure we get every penny for that customer. One of my favorite sayings, Zig Ziglar, you get what you want out of life by helping enough people get what they want. And one of the things that we have to do is we want to make sure that we make that person whole, that homeowner whole. We want to make sure it's restored to pre-loss condition. There's your key word. So whatever that takes to get it there. As a salesperson, again, your job is to just take the extra time, take those photos, make sure you get that checklist done, give your supplementers ammunition. so they can work with the insurance company in a manner that allows that supplement to take place and get that supplement approved and those dollar amounts approved. What insurance claims should you supplement for? Literally any of them. There's always going to be something missing. This is coming from me as an independent adjuster. We are human. We're always going to miss something when we're on the roof. And I like to say a rule of thumb is every estimate written or scope written by the insurance company is probably about 20% light. My answer would be literally every insurance claim should be supplemented. The reason why we should supplement is to make sure that everything is taken care of. A lot of times as the adjuster that's going out on the roof, we're not tearing off the shingles to see what's underneath. We don't see all the things that the roofer sees as they start doing tear off or production. We are human. We might miss that hail spot on the gutters or on the downspouts or something of that nature. We might have just honestly missed it. We might have turned a blind eye to it. So every insurance claim, there's something on there to be supplemented. If I was a manager or owner of a roofing company and I had my sales guys going out and we knew it was an insurance claim, first of all, I would actually break down and show them how much more money they can make by having that supplement, the additional supplement money added to the claim. Most roofing companies pay a percentage of profit, correct? So the more profit or the more the supplement, the more the sales guy makes. Let's say a sales guy sells maybe, let's say 10 roofs a month. Let's say the supplement puts $400 more in their pocket. That's $4,000 more a month. If they live in a northern state like I do in Ohio and they only work 8 months because of the weather, that's still $32,000 in their pocket more income a year just by taking the right photos. I've done over 14,000 claims. I still have a very specific routine of what photos I need to take, even though I know they're not going to be part of the claim. Because if I forget to do it that one time, I'll forget to do it next time. If you don't have a photo of it, you cannot prove that it's been damaged. If you can't prove it's been damaged, you cannot get it written for on a line item through the insurance company. So photos speak volumes. It tells the story. On my photo checklist, we want to see where the gutters are attached. Is it through the drip? If it is, then of course we have to DNR, detach, and reset the gutters. If I have a photo of it being through the drip edge, that adds a lot to my estimate right off the bat. So often as a sales guy, we take a picture maybe of the gutter, but we don't take a picture of how it's attached to the dwelling. We see a lot of contractors that have dealt with third-party supplement companies. And the third-party supplement companies, there's lack of communication. They might only hear back from that supplement company once a week, or it might be 6 weeks, and all of a sudden it's closed and they had no idea where that claim was. The lack of communication. That's been a big sticking point that I've heard from most contractors that have tried and have stopped. So what we do is we do like to follow up every 48 hours. So the first 2 times we do send an email, okay? Give them the opportunity to respond to that email. After that, then we start following up on a phone call, followed up by an email every 48 hours. Some desk adjusters that do respond better on an email, some won't answer an email, but they'll only respond to a phone call and vice versa. So you don't know the desk adjuster and their situation at the time, so I would suggest doing both. As a desk adjuster, when I talk to them, today's Thursday, and they say, call me next Friday. I've got the in-laws in town. I've got the kid's birthday party. I'm going to be tied up for a few days and then the cleanup. If you don't mind, call me next Friday. Normally we call them every 48 hours. What then we do is we set up the next follow-up for that next Friday like they asked. But then we also have a spot in comments. Desk adjuster John Smith, his in-laws were in town, kid's birthday party. So when I do get a hold of him on Friday, my first question to him is not what is going on with my estimate. I need an answer now. It is, did you survive the in-laws in town? How did the kid's birthday party go? So it brings down their defense a little bit. And we've been a lot more successful in the increases because it's more of, we have a rapport, if you will, versus just trying to beat them over the head and try to figure out what's going on with the estimate. Question is, what should my average supplement be? That's very difficult to answer. So a lot of times you hear, yeah, we average this amount of money on a supplement or that amount of money. It truly depends on several different factors. One, the insurance company. Some insurance companies don't want to work with you as well as others. Another one is what state you live in due to different codes. That has a huge bearing on the supplement average. A lot of people will give you a number on the supplement, and it might be repair to replace dollars in there too, which are huge. So if they start throwing that number in their supplement figures, it will skew those numbers as well. As a true supplement number or average, I like to use just a rule of thumb of 20% or higher is what I like to use for rule of thumb for what an average supplement should be. For residential too, and this is something that a lot of people don't think about. And if they see an ACV policy, they automatically think they can't supplement. Wrong. You can supplement those. Okay, even on an ACV policy, a lot of contractors have this mentality, we can only supplement if it's an RCV insurance claim. No, you can still supplement on ACV. You can still supplement across the board, even on an RPS type claim. Somebody that's getting into the insurance, what I would do is find somebody that has done it, mentor. So if you're the salesperson, I pray to goodness that your sales manager has had experience and can work with you. If not, there's so much help out there on Facebook. There's all kinds of supplementing groups and roofing groups that also teach. There's gurus out there from Elena Wilson. I'm always happy to help, and I'm always ready to answer any questions that I'm able to as well. The discussion there is what the role has with the salesperson or anything else as far as discussions with insurance companies, right? Unless you are licensed as a public adjuster, you cannot discuss policy. So many times the insurance company, they record every conversation. The salesperson will try to act as a public adjuster. Don't do that. So that's why it's important to, when you have a dedicated supplement team or third-party supplementers, they know what to say and they know how to get the job done without getting themselves in trouble with the legalities and everything else of that nature. I think also the other thing too is, of course, code. We all know code. So to be able to document that properly in an estimate, whether it's F9 notes, whether it's also including that as a PDF on the codes for that city, that state, or anything else of that nature, in order to get that line item approved, is very important to have all that together while you're arguing your supplement. We searched for a quote unquote CRM. We searched for a management tool of our claims. We couldn't find any that were specifically for supplementing. So we created our own. It is not a CRM. We don't do any document storage or anything else of that nature. We actually refer to it as an SMP or supplement management platform. It integrates with your current CRM. So we're not trying to replace that. It works in conjunction with a CRM. We were dead set on CRM. And so when I talked to AJ about it, who owns a CRM, is the CEO of a CRM, he's like, drop it. Because if I talk about a CRM and you already have a CRM, you might tune me out because you already have one and you're not open to talking about a new CRM. We are not a CRM. It's a complete new category of product that doesn't exist out there anymore. Thanks to AJ, he's like, you can call it anything you want. And he's actually the one that came up with SMP or Sales Management Platform. So hats off to AJ on that. And that's why we call it an SMP versus a CRM. So we don't get lost in the crowd or the noise with all the other CRMs on the market today. If we look at just what we've done as a third-party supplementer, we actually knocked off 19 days off of days to close. Massive, because we can actually talk about all the claims to the desk adjuster at once. We cut out 95% of the incoming phone calls, the interruptions. Those enabled us to cut 19 days off of our days to close. As far as our averages, we actually saw about a 32% increase in average on the supplement increase. Why? Because, again, when we're on hold for 37 minutes, 5 times a day with the same desk adjuster, our brain goes to mush. Here, we're a little bit more on point. We're a little bit more, on point. And when we talk to that desk adjuster, and we're not brain dead. So I think the consequence of somebody not using a product such as SuppTrax is that they will continually to lose claims that fall through the cracks. And the other thing that's very important is once a claim hasn't been touched for 7, 8 days, it goes to the bottom of the pile on the desk adjuster's desk. And the further down it goes, it gets old, it gets stale. So it is better on those type of claims to really work on it immediately. Everybody has purpose and sense of purpose, and everybody wants to know and have a specific goal of what they're going to do that day. And when you don't give them the right tool, it's like giving somebody a hammer to tell them to try to fix your engine block. It doesn't work, they need a wrench. So by giving them SuppTrax, it does give them the right tool. It gives them purpose of what they're actually going to accomplish that day. They can also look back and see their history of where they might need to improve. And we all know that the greater the average on the claim, the more everybody gets paid as well. So for the roofer that thinks it's important, but they don't have time, they don't value their time. Time is money. And when we waste time on some of the different things, like we're not being effective with our time and effective on calling to follow up on each claim, they're wasting their own time. So by not finding the time to do it, it's wasting time. And again, time is money. If it saves you 1 claim per year, it pays for itself. And that's why that's our focus. But the wonderful thing is we also have subscribers that are lower volume. Might only do 10, 15 claims a month, and they've already seen the benefit of it. They've seen the days to close come down. They've seen the increase in averages go up and so it's not just the effectiveness, But when that supplement dollar amount goes up, you become more profitable as well. On retail, yes, you get paid for that immediately. On insurance, you actually get a check for ACV right away, and then your depreciation check you get at the completion of the job and after the supplement's been settled. The ones that don't supplement because of that are a little bit short-sighted because they're also leaving a lot of money on the table. So once you get to that initial claim surge of insurance claims, and then it might take 50 days, but once you have that pipeline built, then it's going to stay, and you're going to stay caught up on it, and you are going to receive quite a bit more money because you're getting that supplement income. I would suggest is reach out, request a demo. It takes about 15, 20 minutes literally, but we always like to do a demo to make sure that you're using all the features and that you're accessing it to get full use and benefit of it.